All right, I'm LQ, and this is the LQ Review, where we talk about movies, TV shows, video games, comic books, all sorts of the nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Today, I'm giving my review of The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 11, called Bounty. This episode follows two storylines. The first storyline is the storyline of the Hilltop. You've got Daryl, and he is with Tara and the other leaders of the Hilltop, and they're being confronted by Alpha, the leader of the Whispers. Alpha wants her daughter Lydia back. Daryl doesn't want to give Lydia back because Daryl knows that Lydia has been abused by Alpha. So there's the conflict on, do we turn Lydia over, or do we willingly invite conflict with this new group called the Whispers? The second storyline is the storyline of the Kingdom, where Ezekiel and Carol and Jerry are out on a scavenging mission, and they decide that they want to show a movie at the fair that they're getting ready to have. They're getting ready to have a fair that's going to bring together all the communities, and Ezekiel really wants to show a movie. And I actually like his reasons for wanting to show a movie. It's going to blow the minds of the kids who've never seen one before, and they're going to remember how great it is when community comes together, and there's actually a lot of validity to it. But what... we'll get to that under the bad section. So as always, I talk about the good, I talk about the bad, and I give you my rating. My rating system has changed a little bit. My rating system is now a smiley emoji if I liked it, meh emoji if I thought it was okay, and then a sad face emoji if I didn't like it. So, let's talk about the good. The good, Alpha and the Whispers. They've really breathed some life into this show. Now, I'm not one of the haters. I've loved All Out War against Negan. Thought that was excellent. The first part of Season 9 I didn't dig. The whole bridge storyline leading up to Rick's death, I didn't dig all that, but I loved All Out War, and I loved the whole storyline with Negan. I thought it was pretty comics accurate, and Negan made a good bad guy, and man, I just really liked it. So there's actually something that I like about the Whispers, and there's something I don't like about the Whispers. But let's say that Alpha and the Whispers bring an energy to the show that it had been missing for a little while. A new threat, something new to unite our heroes, something that they weren't expecting. So that's exciting to me. I liked Daryl and his willingness to take that leadership role at the Hilltop, because he had been kind of obviously, he'd been a loner. He secluded himself after Rick vanished, and he'd been very not really leading anybody except for Dog. And now he's taken up that leadership role and doing what he needs to do to lead the Hilltop, knowing that everybody looks up to him anyway. So he's done a great. He's been a great character so far in Season 9, especially on the second half. And just the Hilltop story. The idea that the Whispers have some of the Hilltop's people, Hilltop has some of the Whispers people, one of the Whispers people. Henry and what he brings to it. He's clearly falling in love with Lydia, taking on the Carl role from the comics. He's clearly falling in love with Lydia. Lydia is clearly falling in love with Carl. She doesn't want to leave. She doesn't want to go back to the Whispers. But as an abused person often does, when the opportunity to go back presents itself, she just does. And she resigns herself to going back with Alpha and the Whispers. A lot of really great stuff happening in the Hilltop storyline. I'm really enjoying it. The bad. All right. So I love the Whispers. I love Alpha. I love what they've brought to it. At the same time, Alpha is not as threatening to me so far as the Governor or as Negan. She's going to be the main bad of this season and probably the main bad of next season. She's not been as threatening as the Governor or Negan. So what are they going to do to up that threat? I've read the comics. I'm pretty sure I know what they're going to do to up that threat. But even in the comics, Alpha never takes that step to where the Governor and Negan was. One of the Whisperers do. And I'm not going to reveal here because of spoilers, potential spoilers. But one of the Whisperers takes a step up. But Alpha's just not there. So that's going to be a problem if they keep Alpha as the main bad for a while, because she's just not as threatening as Negan or the Governor were. I love the characters. I love the concept. I love what they're bringing to it. It's something different, and it's thrown our main characters off of their game a little bit. But Alpha has not been the threat, as of yet, that those other two big bads were. Another bad is the Kingdom. Why on earth, Ezekiel, in the name of all that is holy, would you risk lives to go get some projector bulbs that you don't even know for sure are there? You don't even know for sure they're there. And they even talk about how we don't know if they're there. Why on earth would you risk lives for projector bulbs that you don't know are there? That is not good leadership. And then Carol comes around, and Carol says, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. After she protests and protests, she comes around and finally says, okay, let's do this. They're building up to the fair. The fair will probably be the season finale of this season. And I think I know what's going to happen at the fair. It involves a border. Everybody who's read the comics know what I'm talking about. It involves a border between the Whisperers' land and the Team Alexandria's land. And I'm pretty sure that's going to happen during the fair. So there's a lot of build-up to the fair. They're going to keep talking about it. How can we make it great? How can we get everybody involved? How can we make it huge? How can we make it this great grand event? I still don't buy that Ezekiel's going to risk lives to get a projector bulb so they can show a movie at the fair. Don't buy it. That's poor leadership in my mind. But whatever, it led to some good zombie kills. And zombie kills can be few and far between in The Walking Dead now. So that was nice. But yeah, I didn't buy that. And the fair, you know, I get the lead up, and I get that this is important to Ezekiel. It especially seems important to Ezekiel. And I think that's going to come into play later as well. But yep. When they were focusing on the hilltop, Henry, Daryl, Lydia, the Whispers, I was into it. When they were focusing on the Kingdom, we've got our team out on a scavenging mission. We've seen this 100 times. You know, we're in season 9, almost to season 10. It's time to start doing some new things. So there it is. Overall, yeah, I'm going to give this a happy emoji. You know, the Whispers have brought a new energy to The Walking Dead that hadn't previously been there for at least half a season, maybe a little bit more. And it's been welcome. You know, it hasn't really translated in the ratings. The ratings are still kind of low for The Walking Dead. But the Whispers have been a welcome addition. And this is a happy emoji. This episode was good. So if you jumped off of The Walking Dead for a while, if you're one of the people that didn't care for all-out war against Negan, this is probably a really good time to jump on, because you've had a time jump of about 9 years, and you've got a new villain, a new group of antagonists that I think are going to be really interesting. I don't know that they're going to get to that level of threat that Negan and the Governor were, but I think they're going to be really interesting. So anyways, that's my review of The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 11, Bounty. What did you think of it? Leave it in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel. You can find me at the LQ Review on Facebook. And as always, thank you for being here with me to talk about all the nerdy, geeky stuff that we love to talk about. Thanks, guys.